that everybody knows you and we know you. So we know you, Anjali. I know you specifically, I and Renu, from Talk to Big Ears as the founder of Talk to Big Ears and the a firm which is working on, listening service. But more than that, Anjali has, read, worked in many other organizations, non-profit organizations in important positions. And today she is going to talk to us about uh, relationship, the various facets, the maybe, the love, affection that we get, and also the challenges that we face in the relationship, may it be like with our parents, with children, with anybody, family members. Dr. Renu, Rajshri ma'am, Madhulin, Annapurna ji, thank you for joining. And today it will be more an interactive the way it was going right now. And so please be open to ask questions, add, but the floor is open here with Anjali. Welcome, Anjali. Welcome, Dharani ji. So today is an interactive session about relationship. Thank you for joining. Anjali, thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Anu. Thank you for this platform also. Thank you, Renuji, Rajshiji, Madhulinji, Annapunaji, and Dharani. Thank you so much. So now we are going to be talking about this very, very interesting topic, and that is relationships. And since we are all social beings, we are all in the midst of it day in, day out. And there is this crisis on how to manage all the relationships, this crisis of time. Because, in earlier days, from whatever I've read, the lifespan used to be much longer. Lifespan was longer, the families were bigger, and the interaction was much more. There were no screens, there was no other distraction that could take your attention away from the family and the close ones that you have around you. But these days it's a big fight. So let us start with the children first. So we will first touch upon parenting, then we will touch upon partners, and then we can also talk about siblings, and we can talk about friends and the society and stuff like that. Okay. So the first few minutes, let's talk about parenting, like we were just discussing, Renuji and me. So, I have always said that the last 5 minutes of the day for a child are the most important. So, whatever you want to teach this child by way of human values, by way of, your mannerisms, your behavior, your resilience and grit, all of that can be packed intelligently in the last 5 minutes of a day's child. um, so what you do is that instead of losing those 5 minutes behind your TV screens and helter skelter in the house, just sit with that child before he or she goes to bed and start talking about all those things that you want your child to be. What I used to do was I used to pick the little topics during the day, that what is it that I should be talking to them today about. If I feel that there has been a miscommunication, if there has been any kind of bad behavior, unwanted conversations, I would try and bring it into a little story, just pick it up from my childhood, or I would just make up a story or a situation and I would relate to them about what I wanted to say. So, the reason behind this is that when the child sleeps with these thoughts, the subconscious is working always, like we all know. So, when the subconscious is being fed by all the good stuff, the bad stuff will get lesser space. So, when the bad stuff gets the lesser space, then the good stuff is going to be clouding the child's mind. So, when you do that, you day on, day after day, when you're spending those 5 minutes and at the most impressionable time of that child, ultimately you are going to get the best plant that you could make out of that little seed, which is your child. So, this is one very important point, that the last 10 minutes are the magic moments in a child's day. The second thing I would like to talk about is introspection, what we just spoke about, Dr. Renu. That, it is very important to teach a child how to introspect. So at the end of the day, if the child talks about all that he or she did during the day, and you can talk to him or her like a conversation. Okay, what did you do? What was right? What was wrong? Did you like the behavior of that friend of yours? Do you think this could have been done in a better way? Do you think you could have eaten your vegetables? How would you have eaten your vegetables? Like in a conversation, if you could just relate all those things that have happened during the day, it is a very good method to help the child to introspect. Because once they start introspecting, what is introspection? Introspection is when you think and then act. When you think and you act, so it's going to be a more rational response to every situation for that child. And once you teach that child the thinking power to before they act, your job is done. But when they become impulsive and when they want to act before thinking and without thinking, that's where the problem starts. So these 2 points I wanted to make in parenting, I feel they are very, very essential. And once you start talking to the child about all those various things from an early age, uh, this will stay. And once this relationship and the conversation practice stays, then you can talk to the child about anything, anytime, as they are growing up. It could be very difficult conversations, it could be very unwanted conversations, but it would definitely teach the child to sit down and listen to you. So once they start listening to you, you are feeding them with all the right stuff. Once the right stuff has gone into that system, it will ultimately bloom. So these two things I feel is we forget because we are also too tied up. We are so busy in our own schedules. We sometimes can't even put the child to sleep. We just go in and say good night and give a kiss and a hug, and that is it. So now I'm coming to the woman of the household. uh, how does she try and balance the all the activities she's meant to do along with the fear of domestic drudgery? Domestic drudgery is something that can really pull you down. And the third is the demands on her. There are multiple demands on a woman today. She has to be a super person. She has to be a super human, a super mother, a super mom to be able to manage everything. And in the quest of trying to manage and to being a super mom and to being a perfect parent and a perfect wife and a perfect homemaker, kaput, the health goes for a 6. And this woman starts losing everything over here. And that domestic drudgery that I just spoke about, that saps them out. That saps them out so bad that they start losing themselves. They start getting into a depression, and they cannot forgive themselves for not being able to do everything along with looking after themselves. So here I would like to give very small little tips, to avoid domestic drudgery. I feel, uh, when you are in a set routine, it can sometimes get really boring because nobody else is going to change their routine for you. You are the ones who have to look after your own mental health. You are the ones who have to look after your own boredom and your own lack in everything. You are the ones who have to be nice to yourself. So, what is it that you do? So, there were little things that I used to do years ago. Uh, when I used to go for a walk in the morning, if I had a very, very difficult day yesterday, I would try and take a different route every time. I would try and change the park I go to. I would try and change the complete route. I would take a different road. I would take a different turn, and preferably get lost in the colony. Just get lost, because then you you start using your mind and your brain, and you say, oh no, this is not where I want to go. How do I get back home? So then you're beautifully distracted. And when you're beautifully distracted, you want to work with all your senses on the present moment. And when you work on the present moment and you get back home, it's a aha moment that you've been able to get lost and find yourself and come back home from wherever. Okay, so that used to really excite me. When everything used to be very boring, I used to give myself this challenge, and I would try and get lost on my little walk. And also another thing that used to work was, on the phone, on our phones, we have all these apps, right? So all these apps on our phone are set where they are set. We've never even probably thought of changing their position ever, but it is very easy and simple to change their positions. So to keep your mind active and to give yourself that challenge, you can keep shuffling the position of these apps. That will keep you very alert, and that would bring in that where you have to be present in the moment. Like supposing if I want to see my mails, I know exactly where my mail app is. I go onto my first page and I just press this and my mails open, and I know exactly with my eyes shut how to go there. So when you keep changing these, when you keep changing your backgrounds, when you keep changing your pictures, your dps, then it gets a little peppy. Okay, it gets a little lively, where you can change whatever is within your gamut to change for a fresh look, for a fresh what should I say, a fresh look. Yeah. So it is our responsibility, it is our duty to make ourselves be entertained, to be on top of our game, to be excited to live each day to the best of our ability, and to be the best version of ourselves. Nobody else is going to do it. Everybody else is going to give you their opinion about what they think of you, but that is their opinion. Please remember, that is their opinion, it is not your opinion. So you are the ones who have to tell yourselves how good you are, how brilliant you are, and what a wonderful job you are doing. And once in a while, if you serve dinner at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock because you were busy looking after yourself, each and every person in your family should realize that you are important also to yourself. 1 hour is okay. They are lucky that they are getting food on the table. So I mean, you have to try and make your presence felt in a way that you are somebody who should be loved and respected, and nobody is going to do it to you until and unless you do it to yourself. So these two three little things, and also like a routine. Again, here, we push ourselves so much that I have to get up at 5:30, I have to get things ready by 6:15, the kids have to be off to school, the bus will come at 6:30, whatever, everything we've got, each and every what should I say, 15 minutes of our days chalked out like how. And we try and keep driving ourselves to be able to stick to the time, to be able to tick all the boxes on our to do list, to be able to be the best version, to make sure the child is doing well, to make sure that the husband is happy, to make sure that the food on the table tastes yum every single time. But relax, Baba, relax. There is so much more behind that brain of yours and behind those hands of yours. Right here, come a little lower, and you have your heart. And that heart is your heart first. So you have to first embrace yourself. You first have to love yourself. You first have to be uh, your best friend. The other day I was listening to an interview of this very, he's a statesman of our country. And he said that, he never used to be at home for Diwali. From the time he was 15 years old, every year for 7 days, he would leave the house into the forest, into the caves, and he would stay there just by himself. And when people asked him where is it that he was going, so he said that I'm going to meet myself. So this is an appointment I have with myself where I'm going to learn about myself and I'm going to meet myself. So he says he used to carry food, water, clothing, blankets, anything and everything that he would require for those 7 days and just be with himself. Now he said those 7 days helped him so much that there were loads of thoughts. Every second minute there was a new thought, but he would just observe it. Thoughts come, thoughts go, and they move away. They are thoughts, they are not you. You are this person who's sitting in a state of sum, in a state of peace, in a state of stability, and everything else comes over you and passes from around you. And you just have to be a constant observer. Let it come, let it go. Let it come, let it go. देखते चलो चलते चलो देखते चलो चलते चलो. Okay, so he said that is something that had helped him so much and is helping him still. That if he could sit through those 7 days every year without doing anything and just looking at his thoughts, it made him so much stronger. It made him understand himself. So I'm not asking you to abandon the households and pick up food for 7 days and walk around the house and be on your own in the forest for 7 days. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm trying to tell you is take out at least those 7 minutes in a day where you just sit and you be. Just sit and be. Be what? Be what? You are one with yourself. Your breath, your thoughts, your mind, your heart, your emotions, everything is just aligned. And just observe everything come and go in those 7 minutes. You don't have to do anything. Just concentrate, sit with yourself, and just breathe. Start with this 7 minutes. It's going to make an awesome difference to your mental state of irritability, of anger, of any kind of problem that you're facing. Once you start getting your thoughts, what should you say? Like Osho says, he says, you know, we have to learn to be the observer. Whatever is happening with us, around us, inside us, we just have to observe. There is nothing that we have to do. Just be. And that is exactly what you need to do for those 7 minutes. So, and the if I come to the part of the relationship between the spouses, I feel everybody has their own thoughts on it. Everybody has their own experiences, but it is very important to understand that you are not being bullied, you are not being pushed around, you are being respected, you are being loved, and you're not being taken for granted. For that, you need to be strong. You need to understand and see the red flags. I think I've spoken about this in one of the podcasts where I have even listed out the red flags in a relationship. So if you are vigil and if you are uh, I guess, in a good space, in a good mental space, you do know when you are being pushed around or taken for granted. So that is a complete no-no. You, in case you feel you are being overburdened, in case you feel you're feeling stuck, please reach for help. It could be a friend, it could be a neighbor, it could be a cousin, it could be anybody or your parent. Please reach out for help. And if you feel that you don't want to discuss it with anybody, again, there are listening services like ours, Talk to Big Ears, or you could just go to a counselor. This is the reason why I'm telling you this is also not just because of you, but because of all those people around you. Please make them aware not to sit in a toxic environment. Please do something about it. They have to reach out and they have to live their own life also. So, having said this, there are certain stresses, and there are certain situations, certain changes in life which also change the behavior of the partner. It could be a financial stress, it could be a job related, it could be a change of environment, it could be a change of city, house, or loss of a loved one. It could be anything. So the best thing that you can do is to be there to hear, to be there to listen, and to give them a little space and leeway, because when such things happen, the only when they need help, uh, would I think you should help. But before that, give them some space to understand their emotional situation. That is the best way to cope with any kind of pressures, I feel. And once they realize why this is happening, then of course you're always there to help and support and talk them out of any situation. And again, I would say, if you think you cannot manage it and you need expert help, please reach out. Please reach out, because there many a times we don't understand. I recently spoke with a childhood friend of mine, and she did not know, she did not realize that her husband was a narcissist. Now, these narcissistic behaviors are, enveloped in kindness, enveloped in politeness, and uh, love and sweet talk, and you don't even realize this. They use you, they abuse you, they ill treat you. But once they've done that, they use you as an emotional punching bag, and you don't even realize that you're being used and abused. That's the way they handle you. So it is very important to pick up the red flags, and whenever you are not comfortable, listen to that little voice in your head. So, having said this, there are very good relationships also, because you never know, you might be the one who needs the help, and your spouse is always there with you, for you, but there is something that is troubling you in the head, because of which there has been an upheaval in the relationship. So it is always good to talk to somebody. It is always wonderful to take somebody else's opinion. Don't feel shy. Whatever the case might be, do not feel shy and talk to a confidant. Okay. Now, and please tell me if I need to elaborate on anything. Otherwise, now I think we will move on to the siblings. Um, I feel with siblings, it is very important for the parents to set ground rules. Again, in our extended family, this cousin of mine, he brought up both the kids. Everybody in that house is a doctor, and he brought all the kids the way they should be brought up, and with a lot of love and affection and everything. But whenever those children would fight and go to the dad for help, he would just not talk to them. He would not listen to any complaints. He would not listen to any stories about the other sibling. So he would always say that, don't come to me with a problem or a fight. You guys have to go and sort it out on your own, and come back to me and tell me what happened, and that it has been handled. Because now that you're adults, I have always taught you, don't run to me if you have a problem, because it is very important for the siblings also to have a communication channel always going. When a parent feels that one child is going through a crisis or is going through any problem, it is wonderful to encourage the other child to talk to the first child, and to be there as a support system for the other sibling, and vice versa. Even if the older one is going through a problem, you should tell the younger one to be there for your older sibling, to be there if they want to talk to you, to be there if you have some kind of advice to give. If you put that onus on them, I think in your absence also, they will realize that they are the ones who have to fall back on each other. Nobody else from outside is going to come, because this is also a very important point, that you have to tell the children that, whatever they can do for each other, nobody else from outside is going to do. And people take advantage when siblings fight. People take advantage in the business communities, in the families, extended families, neighborhoods, when people get to, and also servants. Let's just bring that up also. When you have servants in the house, they take advantage if your communication channels are not as active as they should be. So they are the ones who actually miscommunicate and get disorder in the family. So it is very important to give a united look, and to have a united front. And whenever somebody talks ill about your sibling, make sure to go and check with that person, check with your sibling if this is exactly what they said. Because they are the ones who are going to talk to you properly. Let's just keep their spouses out of it. So that channel, the blood channel of the siblings should always be open. You should tell them that if their relationship is good, the spouses also will have a good relationship with each other. So it is very important for the parent to make sure that the siblings are there for each other whenever need be. So now I move on to friends. I believe, with friendships and with people that come into your life, that when a certain situation arises in your life where you need certain type of people or certain kind of energies, the universe sends very different people. Yeah. And they come to help you out of that situation. And once their role is over, they just fall somewhere on the side. They just drift away. It's a very interesting observation. You also, if you reflect on your life, there have been times when you've made such wonderful friends and now suddenly you're not in touch with them, but they helped you through a phase. Their advice helped you at a very crucial moment in your life. So I feel, as far as friends are concerned, like they say, you do not choose your family, but you can choose your friends. And if your friends are like your family and your family is like your friends, that's the ideal situation. So we are all trying to get there. But when you have these kind of friends, it is again very important to have space for each other and to be there for each other. You have to tell your friend when they are right and when they are wrong, in all earnestness and in all honesty, because then you are actually the barometer. You are actually the gold standard, that this is what you are. And I feel you are deviating from your purpose. I feel that you're deviating from your nature. And I feel this is how it should be. It is your duty as a friend to advise. And it is up to that other friend whether to take it or not. Here, I want to bring another point. Yes. Like Anu, we were talking about the kind of love. Uh, I've recently been having some wonderful conversations about love. So, I something had hurt me recently, and I didn't know how to deal with it until I started talking about it, and I realized that when you love somebody, the expectations start rising. So when you love somebody so dearly, you somewhere want them to follow your instructions. You want them to be the way you want them to be. You want them to behave the way you would want them to behave. And then it becomes so much of an attachment. You become so attached to it that you feel so responsible and you feel so, what should I say, controlling. You start controlling the other person, that this is how you want them to be, and you want to control every move, every behavior, every attitude of that person. Snap out of it. No, 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 no. That's not what you're here to do. We were here only to love. ये जहां अटैचमेंट आ जाती है ना, ये जो बंदिश आ जाती है ना, ये गलत. So if we truly love that person, we have to let them be. And whatever they decide and however they wish to be, we have to accept them at the end of the day. We tell them. Our duty is to tell them what is right and what is wrong, and why is it right and why is it wrong. And then once they make up their mind, we only have to love. So unconditional love is where we all need to be. But where are we? We are in attachments. Like somebody said, we should be like, um, uh, be living in the water, but we should not get wet. पानी में रहो लेकिन गीले मत हो. मतलब go ahead and love everybody, but don't get attached to them. बहुत मुश्किल है. I feel if we look at it spiritually, of course, the first step is love, but the next step is non-attachment. So love without attachment is the next step, and that is where we all need to be. And we all have to embrace everybody as is, where is. When you go out to buy a plant, a business, a manufacturing unit, so they have this line over there: as is, where is. So whatever you see, you get, and wherever it is, you get, without any changes, without any additions, without any subtractions. As you see it, where it is, you're going to get. So that's the same way with all our relationships. Don't hold on to people, because if you hold on to people and you become clingy, I've recently been, realized that when parents become too clingy, and in their absence, because everybody has to die, and in their absence, even if the child is 55 years old, they feel such a big sense of loss. But if they've been so controlled by that parent, they don't know how to live. So what we are doing is not just loving them, we've ruined their life, Baba. We've ruined their life. As a parent, we have to teach them to be independent. As a parent, as a spouse, we have to teach our other spouse also. If we are in a situation, supposing somebody is not well, and you know that you don't have too much time, so what are you going to do for your spouse? You have to make sure that that spouse is comfortable. You have to make sure that that spouse is mentally prepared. You have to start talking about the things which are important and urgent. But if you're too attached, all that you can do is just try and become too clingy. Don't let them move without you. Don't let them take any decisions. So when they have to take decisions for themselves, they'll be lost. They'll still be looking up for somebody to come. And that is when they become so vulnerable that they get carried away by the wrong people. So, like they say, love is like a butterfly. If it is yours, it will come and sit on your shoulder. And if it is not, you can chase it as much as you like. It's not coming back. It's not coming back. It was never yours. So I feel in every relationship, this rule and this conversation is valid. We do not have to be too clingy. We do not have to be too attached. We do not have to be, controlling. When we are comfortable in our own skin, our relationships will also improve. When we start giving ourselves time, when we start giving ourselves, uh, space and time to think and time to relax, we become better people to deal with everybody. And I think I've spoken enough. And if there is anything anybody would like to add, would like to talk, we started by saying that it's going to be a like a conversation, but I think I went too far. So if anyone wants to say something, please, let's just talk about it.
No, I just, I never thought that all these points could come in this conversation. Um, but it was not uh, something theoretical. All points were practical, and so I just, in summary, I would say that all these are practical tools, and the way you put it from an experienced person, like you were not saying ऐसे मैंने सुना, ऐसे मैंने किया. तो ये वाला डिफरेंस आपके टॉक में था. But yes, the forum is open for everybody. अन्नपूर्णा जी, मधुलिन, राजश्री, डॉक्टर रेणु, धानी जी, मंजू जी, कोई भी आप प्लीज अनम्यूट करके ऐड ऑन कर सकते हैं. कुछ पूछ सकते हैं. But wonderful, wonderful. First of all, I want to acknowledge that it is really a practical, thought out strategy plan for personal and family. So thank you so much.
I'm Rajshri Anjali ma'am.
Hi,
आज मुझे
Rajshri.
अभी आपकी बातों से समझ में आया कि बहुत सारी चीजें थी कि मैं समझ नहीं पा रही थी कि मेरे साथ ऐसा क्यों हुआ बचपन से अभी तक. तो वो समझ में आया कि दैट वाज टोटली माय एक्सपेक्टेशन. हमने बचपन से हमेशा से एक प्रोटेक्शन में डिसीजन नहीं ले पाए. हमेशा एक बैकअप, एक सपोर्ट की डिजायर रहती थी. और वो जब नहीं पूरी होती थी तो फिर वी फील कि टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड या नेग्लेक्टेड, अनवांटेड, अनलव्ड. तो वो अभी समझ में आया कि वो एक्सपेक्टेशन ही है जो हमें डिजायर से अटैच होते चले जाते हैं. कि जैसा आपने कहा ना कि ऐसा चाहिए, ये बच्चे ऐसे होने चाहिए, बच्चों को ऐसे करना चाहिए, ऐसे करना चाहिए. तो वो हमारी जो इतनी एक्सपेक्टेशन में आ गई. और बहुत सारे
हाँ राजश्री जी, आपकी ना बात टूट टूट के आ रही है. हाँ, कनेक्टिविटी इश्यूज हैं. बट
हाँ
मुख्य बात ये आपके समझ में आई है कि आपको कुछ रियलाइजेशन हुआ है कि मैं ऐसी क्यों
हाँ
थी.
जी.
और एक्सपेक्टेशन एक्सपेक्टेशन कि हमें कोई मतलब अफेक्शन दे या कुछ इस तरह से आपने कहा. और हमारी जो कंडीशनिंग है बचपन से, उसकी वजह से हम आगे जाके ऐसे आपने कहा.
हाँ जी मैम, यानी यही कहा कि वो बचपन से जो कंडीशनिंग थी ना कि प्रोटेक्शन मेल मेंबर से मिलेगा. सेल्फ लव तो हम जानते ही नहीं थे क्या होता है. पहले पिता, फिर भाई, फिर ससुर, फिर पति, फिर बच्चे. तो जब इन किसी से एक्सपेक्टेशन पूरी नहीं होती है तो लगता है कि नो वन वांट्स मी, आई एम अनलव्ड, अनवर्दी. और वही हमारी डिजीज का कारण भी हो जाता है.
Absolutely.
जो मैंने
Absolutely.
महसूस किया है. और अब धीरे धीरे आई एम ब्रेकिंग माई दोज बिलीव्स एंड गोइंग टुवर्ड्स सेल्फ लव.
वंडरफुल वंडरफुल. ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू राजश्री जी. ऑल द बेस्ट टू यू. आप देखिए, जो कोटा में हो रहा है, जो कोटा की सुसाइड्स है, वो क्या है?
हाँ.
वो इतना प्रेशर डाला हुआ है पेरेंट्स ने उन बच्चों के ऊपर बिकॉज ऑफ देयर एक्सपेक्टेशंस. क्योंकि वो
हम्म.
चाहते हैं कि वो बच्चे ऐसे करें और ऐसे पढ़ें. दे हैव नो चॉइस. दोस चिल्ड्रन आर किलिंग देमसेल्व्स. अभी भी हम लोग नहीं समझे हैं, नहीं सीख रहे हैं. हर हफ्ते, हर 10 दिन में एक बच्चा वहां सुसाइड कर रहा है. यही है सब कुछ. यही प्रेशर है. यही आप फोर्स कर रहे हो अपने आप को. तो प्यार कहाँ है इसमें? वेयर इज द लव? थैंक यू सो मच फॉर शेयरिंग राजश्री जी. हाँ जी रेणु जी.
Thank, thank you, ma'am. It was a wonderful session and so much of learning. कि we say na, we need to love ourselves. It is such an easy word, but practicing it, it becomes really tough. Sometimes it becomes really very tough. And about unconditional love, वो जो आप बोल रहे थे कि when we give unconditional love to someone, then there is an expectation, and side by side there is also some judgment also going on, that that person is not doing according to what I was expecting, and then some sort of inner rift, or you can say non-acceptance creep in. Ma'am, can you share?
Disappointment.
Yeah, ma'am, can you share the things which you were saying now quality time for 10 minutes spending with the little children. What were the questionnaires which we should ask at that time? Now my children are grown up, but I can help some of the people who have these small kids.
Sure. Look, there were these books I created for different age groups. So for
Okay.
the younger children, they had to answer only 3 questions, and those 3 questions were the same every day. So I
Okay.
think, if I'm not mistaken now, bade saal ho gaye, one question was, what was that one good deed that you did today?
Okay. Good deed.
What is it that you learned today?
Hmm.
And what is it that you could have done better today?
Acha.
These 3 things. So these 3 things every day is going to make the child constantly think of the good that he or she has done today, and how can you become better. So
Better
your today has to be better than yesterday, and your tomorrow has to be better than today.
today. Yes.
So it is very important for them to strive
Yeah.
towards making themselves good people.
Yes. Very true.
And then the older generation, the little older children, then it was like an introspection about themselves first, to know about themselves, who they are, what do they want, what are their aspirations, what are their fears, what is it that they want to do in this world as a society, what do they want to share within a family, what is it that they see as a good role for a child, for a parent, all of that. So by answering these questions, they understand uh, who they are and what are their priorities. Like, I read a wonderful paragraph years ago, and it has stayed with me. It went like this: where am I going? What do I want? And whom do I love? Are 3 questions I ask myself from time to time, and I watch my answers change.
Huh.
So it is like evolution.
Ma'am, can you please repeat? Where am I going? What do I want?
And whom do I love?
Acha.
Are 3 simple questions I ask myself from time to time, and I watch my answers change. So we are all evolving. Our best friend in class 1 was not our best friend in class 2. Our best friend that we thought is going to be with us for the rest of our lives in class 3, we didn't even see her after class 5. And then when we went to college, we thought, bus, this is it now. Or if you have a very special friend and you feel, no, this person I'm going to spend the rest of my life with, and it doesn't happen, and somebody else walks into your life, and then you feel, bus yahi hai. Then you have children, and then you say, no, this is what is love. Then you get grandchildren, and then you say, no, this is what is love. So you are also constantly evolving, and you are also getting to know yourself. So it is very important for the youngsters to know what they like, what they dislike, what they want, what they don't want, because there was a time when we were growing up, around the age of 20, our hormones and all our everything used to be working. But now there is so much confusion, and we used to have clarity by the time we were 21 or 22. But nowadays, you see these children in the 20s, they are so confused. They are so confused. Even after doing a master's, they don't know what they want to do in life. They still don't know whether they want a job, they want to work in an NGO, they want to stay here, go abroad. They don't know. There is no clarity. So asking them specific questions leads them towards the thought process of thinking for what they want to do. That is my approach. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Diary writing is very important.
Asking the right question, then you'll get the right answer.
Yeah. Yes. Hi, Dharani.
Hi. So, thank you for a wonderful, talk, and it was really nice. And I just wanted to share that one of, parents have their own kind of problems at that stage and age, now, or there's a lot of difficulty they're growing and they have financial this thing and all kinds of problems. But grandparents, and many of us now are, going to be grandparents, hopefully. So I have a neighbor. So what she does is, she's of course much older than me. She calls her grandchildren every हफ्ते ना, अपने only grandchildren को बुलाती है वो, और उनसे बातें करती है. Only last week she was telling me that I call my grandchildren every Saturday, एंड पहले से मैं पूछ लेती हूँ कि आप क्या खाओगे, जो वो खाना चाहेंगे वो वही बनाती हैं. और वो उनसे सेम क्वेश्चंस लाइक यू आर सेइंग ना, कि व्हाट डू यू वांट टू डू नाउ, एंड द many of them are in college stage and they still don't know, and they can't open up to their parents because parents have
Yeah.
very fixed ideas. So the grandmother is like, she has the time also and the capacity also, and she has seen this life, the phases of life also. So she is playing that very important role in their lives, which which
Wonderful. Awesome. And Dharni, I'd like to add here, let's not just wait to become grandparents. We are aunts to a lot of children in the colony, in our families. If we can
exactly.
be there for them, if we can take out that little time to have that heart to heart conversation with them, this is something that has helped me a lot. I have had some uncles and aunts who used to take out time to just sit with us and talk to us on what we want to do and the books we were reading and what interests us. And I used to be like, you know, I used to be on the basketball court most of the time. So I feel all my life skills have come from that basketball court, not from my classroom, not from my geography book. All my life skills have come from that basketball court, and also to talk about it to my elders.
Yeah.
So it is very, very important if we can be available to the society,
Yes.
to have these little conversations. I think I've spoken about this earlier also somewhere, that if we feel that there is some child in our neighborhood, in our area of friends or anybody around who is sensitive, please reach out, because sensitive children really need a support system. And if something is going wrong, they would not be able to talk to their parents, like you just said. So if we can be available with all our ears, with our big ears for these children, I think that's the best service you can do. That's awesome. Thanks for bringing up that point, Dharani. Thank you.
अन्नपूर्णा जी.
यस मैम. मैम थैंक यू वेरी मच. इतना अच्छा था ये, मतलब सेशन आपने एक एक पॉइंट लेके किया, सेग्रीगेट किया. पहले चिल्ड्रन, हाउ टू बी अ पेरेंट, फिर वुमेन के बारे में बोला, फिर स्पाउस के बारे में. जैसे होता है ना, एज अ वुमेन आपने बहुत कुछ पॉइंट्स बोले. हम खुद को रिस्पेक्ट करना तो जानते ही नहीं है, ना ही हमने अपने मदर्स को देखा है, या फिर उस जमाने का अलग बात था. ना ही हम लास्ट अपने आप का जो भी इम्पोर्टेंस है लास्ट, अगर टाइम बचेगा तो. वो टाइम कभी बचता नहीं है. फिर क्या होता है, वो एग्रेशन वो अंदर कलेक्ट होता जाता है, वो किसी और चीज में वो रिफ्लेक्ट करता है, चिल्ड्रन के ऊपर, स्पाउस के ऊपर, या पड़ोसी के ऊपर, या जैसे मैम ने बोला कि हेल्थ के ऊपर तो वो करेगा ही उसका. हमें खुद इम्पोर्टेंस देना है. ये अगर हम खुद सीखेंगे तो हमारे बच्चे हमें को देख के वो भी सीखेंगे, खुद को भी इम्पोर्टेंस देना है. अदरवाइज जैसे अभी मेरे बच्चे तो बड़े हो गए हैं. बड़ा वाला हमेशा बोलता था, जब भी वो आता था एनडीए से, जैसे छुट्टियों में 1 महीने मिलता है नेशनल डिफेंस एकेडमी से, बोलता मम्मी तुम हमेशा किचन में क्यों करते रहते हो, ये बना रही हो, कुछ सीख लो, कंप्यूटर सीख लो, तुमको जो अच्छा लगता. तब मुझे लगा अरे ये छोटा होके वो हमारे बारे में सोच रहा है. बच्चा होके वो भी बोलते हैं ना, लड़के इतने वो नहीं होते हैं, लड़कियां बहुत होती है. मुझे तो लड़कियां है नहीं है, दोनों लड़के. बट वो सोच के बोलता था मम्मी चलो बैठो बाइक में, हम चलते हैं, पापा बिजी है तो ठीक है चलते. ऐसा नहीं हस्बैंड भी लेके जाते, लेकिन वो जब भी आता था 1 महीने, वो मुझे ऐसे करता था कि जैसे कोई मैं उसकी फ्रेंड हूँ, ऐसे ट्रीट करता था.
How
जब मम्मी
nice.
चलो मॉल पे जाते हैं, मैं मॉल में कभी जाती ही नहीं हूँ, हमें कोई वो लगता नहीं है कि हमारे एज के उसको, मॉल तो सब अभी कल्चर्ड हुआ है। फिर बोलता है अरे कॉफी पी लो, मैं बोलती अरे इतने पैसे में तो हम 10-15 कॉफी पी सकते घर में बना के। ऐसे लगता है
Yes.
टेस्ट भी वहां का कोई हमें खास नहीं लगता है ऐसे। लेकिन वो जब बोलता है तब फिर मैं कंप्यूटर में इसमें उसमें सीखने में इन्वॉल्व हो गई। थैंकफुली गुरु मिल गए, उनसे भी समझा कि नहीं, खुद को इम्पोर्टेंस देना। जब हम खुद को इम्पोर्टेंस देते हैं, जैसे आपने बोला, खुद को अनकंडीशनल लव देते हैं या खुद को जजमेंट से पार लेते हैं, एक्सेप्ट करते, तभी तो हम दूसरों को एक्सेप्ट कर पाएंगे, है ना? तभी
Absolutely.
तभी बच्चों को प्यार दे पाएंगे। जब मैं खुद को नहीं दे सकती तो दूसरों को भी देने में सक्षम नहीं रहूंगी। ऐसे मेरा आपका सुनते सुनते मन में ख्याल आया, सबकी बातें सुन के। और हेल्थ उसके लिए अल्टीमेट है, हेल्थ एज अ फ्रूट मिलेगा अगर ये सब हम वो करते हैं, फिजिकल एंड मेंटल हेल्थ। वो तो इम्पोर्टेंस है। जब एज बढ़ता है, बच्चे तो आजकल पास में कोई नहीं रहते, ज्यादातर चले जाते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, नौकरी के लिए, या फिर ये होते फॉरेन जाना है, वो भी सब वो हो गया है। अगर हमें अपना हेल्थ वो करना है, ये सब एस्पेक्ट रिलेशन की बहुत ही केयरफुली अवेयरनेस के साथ करना पड़ेगा। खुद को बहुत ज्यादा मेंटेन करते हुए, ऐसा नहीं कि दूसरों को नेग्लेक्ट करना है। जब खुद को टाइम देंगे, दूसरों को भी हम नेग्लेक्ट नहीं करेंगे। अनकंडीशनल लव जो आप बोल रहे हैं, और आपने फ्रेंडशिप का भी बहुत अच्छे से बहुत सारे पॉइंट्स बोले। जब वो सब होता है, एक्सपेक्टेशन है या जजमेंट है, तो फिर वो अनकंडीशनल लव तो है ही नहीं, फिर उसमें फ्रेंडशिप तो है ही नहीं। फिर फ्रेंडशिप इज सबसे बाहर, है ना? सबसे बाहर होता है वो फ्रेंडशिप। हमेशा चाहे वो सामने वाला आपको डांट भी दे, तो भी वो फ्रेंडशिप फ्रेंडशिप ही रहेगा, आपको जज भी करे, है ना? नहीं तो हम
Correct.
क्या होते हैं, छोटे छोटे बातें में फ्रेंडशिप तोड़ देते हैं। भले बाद में रियलाइज होता है ही वॉज वेरी, मेरे लिए वो जरूरत थी। तब टाइम अगर हो मैनेज करे तो बहुत अच्छा, नहीं तो कभी कभी जो टूटता है फिर जुड़ता भी नहीं है। इसलिए
Correct.
रिलेशनशिप बहुत केयरफुली हैंडल करना पड़ेगा। आपकी एक इसका तो बहुत बार सुनना पड़ेगा मैम, आपका आज का क्लास। और और ये मेरे को लगता है हर महीने टाइम टू टाइम सबको मतलब ऐसी चीजें डिस्कस करनी चाहिए। मुझे आज नीड लगा सोसाइटी में, जैसे आपने बोला सोसाइटी में दूसरे बच्चों के साथ बात करना है, हम अपने ही इतने इसमें इन्वॉल्व होते हैं कि दूसरों का भी नहीं लेते। फिर बच्चे जब दूर होते हैं, अरे हमारे बच्चे तो दूर है, जैसे आपने बोला सोसाइटी में दूसरे बच्चे हैं, उनके साथ भी हम वो करके, जैसे आपने बोला आपने प्रैक्टिकली किया है, तो बहुत ही बढ़िया है। ऐसे सेशंस हर जगह डिस्कस होना चाहिए। आजकल तो जूम है, यूट्यूब से, जो भी है उसका यूज करके मुझे लग रहा था। थैंक्स टू अनुराधा मैम एंड आप और रेनू मैम, सबको बहुत बहुत थैंक यू, थैंक यू।
अरे थैंक यू सो मच अनुराधा, क्या बोलूं मैं। ऑसम. गॉड ब्लेस यू. गॉड ब्लेस यू माय डियर. थैंक यू सो मच. थैंक यू.
थैंक यू। ऑन दैट नोट आई विल कंप्लीट दिस। मधुलिन, आप कुछ बोलेंगे?
यस मैम, थैंक यू अंजलि मैम, वेरी नाइसली एक्सप्लेन्ड। ये सभी इश्यूज आजकल हो रहा है मैम, मुझे तो सभी मेरे ऊपर ही लागू हो रहा है ऐसा लग रहा है। सब कुछ मेरे साथ हो चुका है ऐसा, आपने सब ब्यूटीफुल एग्जांपल्स दिए सभी। मुझे इस रिलेशनशिप में मैम एक कुछ पूछना था। तो जैसे स्पाउस का रिलेशनशिप होता है, तो देख लीजिए एक फायर है एक वाटर है, तो फायर तो हमेशा फायर ही देता है, वाटर क्या करे मैम उस
पानी
टाइम पर?
डाले, आग
वही
पे पानी डाले,
मैम
इसीलिए आप
वाटर,
पानी हो। आप पानी डालो आग पे, आपका रोल ही ये है।
मैम कितना वो इसीलिए शायद एक को वाटर बनाया है, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है, क्योंकि फायर को कैसे शांत किया जा सके। लेकिन
तो फिर ये
शांत
जो
करते कर,
पानी है,
यस मैम
सॉरी कंटिन्यू।
लेकिन फायर को शांत करते करते वाटर का भी तो ये होगा ना मैम, कभी वाटर भी तो बॉयल हो जाएगा, उसका क्या करे मैम?
वो
उसका भी
फिर
तो इश्यूज होगा।
वो सैर करने जाए और अपने आप को वो भूल जाए कि वो कहाँ जा रहा है, और 1 घंटे की सैर करके आए और फिर रास्ता ढूंढे अपने घर का। सो द
यस मैम,
पॉइंट आई एम ट्राइंग टू मेक इज मधुलिन जी, कि आपको अपना ध्यान अपने आप रखना है, आपको अपने आप को एंटरटेन रखना है। आई यूज दिस वर्ड एंटरटेन बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, क्योंकि हमको वो स्पेस चाहिए अपनी बैटरीज रीफिल करने के लिए। अगर हम हैं तो दुनिया है, अगर हम ही नहीं है तो ना दुनिया है, ना फैमिली है, ना हस्बैंड है, ना बच्चे हैं।
Yes,
तो
ma'am. That is
हमसे है जमाना। तो अगर आप हैं तब आपके आसपास की सिचुएशन है। अगर आप अपने आप को खो देंगे तो वो सिचुएशन नहीं रहेगी। लेकिन आपने अपने आप को ऐसा कमाल बनाना है कि आपने अपना ध्यान रखना है। यू आर नॉट गोइंग टू वेट फॉर एनीबडी, यू आर गोइंग टू लुक आफ्टर योरसेल्फ।
yes,
आपको
ma'am.
लग रहा है अगर आपका पानी गर्म हो रहा है तो आप उसमें बर्फ डालेंगे। आप अपने ऐसे दोस्त बनाकर रखेंगे जो कि आपको काम रखेंगे, जो कि आपको ठीक रखेंगे, बैलेंस रखेंगे, रेडी फॉर द नेक्स्ट वेंचर।
Yes, yes, ma'am. True.
So that's how I feel. But yes, we can go on. Maybe we can have another session, Anu, another day. But I have another.
One more thing, ma'am.
Anji.
Sibling issues, ma'am. One sibling
Yes.
issues, ये true है मैम। अगर आप सिबलिंग कम्युनिकेशन गैप आता है तो दूसरे लोग फायदा उठाते हैं, उसका कैसे ये किया जाए, इश्यूज को कैसे सॉर्ट आउट किया जाए अगर सिबलिंग में कुछ डिस्प्यूट है तो?
I think fake it till you make it. The first thing is अपने आप को यूनाइटेड फ्रंट दिखाइए सबके आगे। एंड इन द मीन टाइम आप अपने डिफरेंसेस सॉल्व करते रहिए अंदर। जो कुछ भी होना चाहिए इट शुड बी डन इनसाइड क्लोज डोर्स। आप अंदर जितना मर्जी झगड़ा करिए, एक बारी बाहर निकलिए तो हंसते हुए और जैसे आप एक सिंगल यूनिट है। सो
Okay,
यू
ma'am.
हैव टू स्टार्ट विद दैट। सो फेक इट टिल यू मेक इट। और ये सिबलिंग्स की बातचीत होनी चाहिए विदाउट देयर स्पाउसेस।
Yes, ma'am. That is the
Their
main thing.
spouses should not be involved in any kind of settlement.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
सेशन
Thank you so
हम
much, everybody.
ये
Thank you.
सेशन
Maybe
हम
we can have another session.
सेशन कंटिन्यू करेंगे। थर्सडे 4
हाँ,
PM सॉर्ट ऑफ एक बना देंगे मैम का स्लॉट। तो मैं दोबारा
Sure.
फिर थर्सडे 4 PM को पूछूंगी एंड मे बी दिस
ठीक
और कुछ और, क्योंकि प्रश्न और
Sure. Absolutely. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
God
ma'am.
bless you. Thanks,
Thank
Thank
Anu.
you,
you.
ma'am.
Thank you.
टॉक टू
Thank you.
बिग इयर्स, टॉक टू
Thank
बिग
you.
इयर्स,
Talk
टॉक
to
टू
big
बिग इयर्स।
ears. Thanks. Bye.
थैंक यू,
Bye.
थैंक यू।